Welcome, my name's Mark, and in this video we're going to create a King of the Hill circle. This will help you with creating animations and also placing your game objects exactly where you want to place them. So even if you don't want to create a King of the Hill circle, it should help you learn animations and also placing your game objects. So let's start. Let's right click in the hierarchy and hit create 3D object plane. Let's rename this ground. Let's zero out the transform over in the specter. And let's change the scale to 10 in the X and 10 in the Z. Alright, my main camera is at 10 and -60 in the Z. And in our scene view, we'll just want to drag it around until it's at a good position. Let's start creating our King of the Hill asset that we're going to use to code in a later video. Right click in hierarchy, create empty. Let's rename this King of the Hill. We then want to create two children of this game object. We want to create empties as well. So right click on the King of the Hill. You'll know it's a child of the King of the Hill object if you can hide it with the tab on the King of the Hill. So let's rename these two. Oh, let's also zero out the transform of the King of the Hill. Let's make sure our game objects are also zeroed out. Let's rename these. I'm going to name my first one Crowns 1 and my second group Crowns 2. These are going to be groups that hold our crowns. Alright, it's time to drag in our sprite image we're going to use for this King of the Hill circle. If you're creating this for your own game, you're going to want to pull your own image, but I just pulled this image off of Google. It was a free one. So drag it from your file window into your project window. Click on it and change the texture type to Sprite 2D and hit apply. So my sprite I wanted to keep white so I can change the color in Unity and not have it be affected by its base color. Let's drag this in to Crowns 1. Let's change the color right now to a gold color. So click in the inspector in this white box, go over, grab a yellowish looking color. We want to turn it a little gold. Sweet. Drag the entire group up to 1 on the y-axis so we can see what we're doing. And before we are done with the color, let's change the alpha or the opacity to a more see-through number. 100 is good enough. Then let's hit Control D while we have it selected and duplicate this so that there's 4 crowns in Crown 1 group. Let's duplicate it one more time and drag this one into Crowns 2. Let's then move the entire Crowns 2 group up to 2. So make sure this crown sprite that you've duplicated didn't take the position when you drug it out of Crowns 1, and make sure to zero it out. Sweet. Now let's duplicate it 3 more times. Okay, now we need to change the rotation on 2 of these in the first group to 90. This will make it like a little X down there in the bottom, and then let's grab these 2 in the second group and change them to 45 in the y-axis. This is going to make it really easy to pull out to the cylinder that we want it to be. And -45 on these second 2. Okay, let's then create a 3D object actually, a cylinder. Let's zero out this transform, and this is going to be what we use to reference where we want our crowns to be. So 10 in the X and 10 in the Z. That's probably a good size circle for this King of the Hill. And let's start grabbing and pulling our images out. So this crown sprite, I'm going to grab this right one. Sweet, I grabbed the right arm. If you grab the wrong arm, you can always hit Control Z and bring it back to the position you want. So we want 5 in the x-axis, looks like 5. The second one will drag back, and it looks like it's going to be -5 in the x-axis. Then grab the next sprite. We'll grab the yellow handle. And this looks like -5 in the Z. Grab the next sprite in the hierarchy, drag it the other side, and that looks like +5 in the Z. Then we grab the next sprite in group 2, drag that out, and it looks like 3.5. Yes, it looks like 3.5. So that's what we're going to do, 3.5 in the X and 3.5 in the Z. Let's grab the next one. And we're just going to do this with the rest of them. I have to Control Z that to bring it the other way. -3.5 in the X and -3.5 in the Z. Next sprite. Looks like -3.5 in the X and 3.5 in the Z. Last sprite, drag it this way, and it looks like 3.5 in the X and -3.5 in the Z. Sweet, we have all the crowns in the position that we want them to be. Now it's time to start animating them. So let's click on the entire group so we can animate them at the same time, all the crowns in this group. Hit Window in the toolbar, hit Window in the menus up here, and you can either hit Control-6 or Animation, and it will bring up our animation window. Then while we have Crowns 1 selected, hit Create, and let's name this Crowns 1. Alright, let's add a property, and we want to add the transform of the empty game object, which has all of the Crown's children of it. So hit Position, and it's already at position 1 here, but we want to move it to position 2 at the halfway mark. So let's do that right now. And when we hit play, our crown should go up and down like so. Alright, for our second group, we want to hit Create again, and then name it Crowns 2. Hit Save. And now we're animating the second group of crowns. And let's add a property, transform, position. And this one's starting at 2. We want it to go down to 1 in the center, and then we'll go back up to 2. So if we hit play, we should have alternating crowns. And then let's throw in one more animation on the entire group. So grab King of the Hill game object and hit Create. And we can just type spin on this one because that's all we're doing for this animation. Let's add the transform and then add the rotation instead of the position. And at the end, we just want it to do one full revolution. So type 360 in the Y. And let's hit play and see what we have. Okay, that's a bit fast, so let's slow it down by changing the sample size to 10. Alright, awesome. We've got what we need. I'm going to delete this cylinder, and this is a perfect King of the Hill asset that we can use to code and put into our games. And if you want to change the colors, you can grab them all at the same time and then change the color or the opacity, make them really light, make them really dark, whatever you want to do. You can also do some pretty cool stuff with this asset to be whatever you want it to be. I hope you guys learned a bunch about the animation and how to set your hierarchy up in groups so that you can animate multiple game objects at a time to make it easier. And I also hoped you guys learned how to use a game object to help you position where you want your other game objects to be. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and we're going to code this in a later video to either a King of the Hill zone or a zone where you receive damage if you enter it. So let's get on to the next one. Talk to you guys later. Bye.